Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about how to take an 11 by 17 drawing template and convert it to an 8.5 by 11 drawing template so that you can print it on a standard printer. Okay, let's get into it. So the first thing, notice in my data panel here that I label them by size in the template so that when I'm setting up the drawing, I can specify to my students which size paper we're going to be printing this on. Not everything is going to get printed on 11 by 17. Basically, they're bigger projects. We print on the bigger stuff, the kind of everyday stuff we print on the 11 by 8.5. And it's written in this way because the width is always denoted first and then the height. So these are basically saying they're on landscape formatted pages. Okay, let's get into it. So we're talking about how to make an 8.5 by 11 sheet from this 11 by 17 sheet. So we can't fit all of this on an 8.5 by 11. So we're gonna have to get rid of it, some of it, or we're gonna modify it. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go File, Save As, and we are gonna save this as an 11 by 8.5. And I always tell my students to write in the size. That way when they pick the template in the drawing aspect, they know what they're getting, which paper they're getting. So we hit Save. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go into Sheet Settings. So we're gonna hit plus, and then we're gonna hit Sheet Size, and we're gonna change this to an 11 by 8.5. And now you can see, wait, all this stuff flew off the screen. Well, we also can't afford all this stuff. We don't have the space for it. So unless we're gonna create our own drawing template, which I will talk about in another video, we're gonna have to delete stuff. And the first thing I'm gonna delete, especially for a high school setting, is the revs. Typically, high school students don't keep track of revs, or they'll just do these down here. I know that's not necessarily perfect training. Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to wedge all this notes into this little space right here by essentially shortening these statements. So I'm going to get, instead of interpret, I'm going to say interpret to, capital 2, ASME, these standards. I am just going to get rid of this because I do feel like it kind of is redundant, especially for high school students. And then I'm going to do some stuff like get rid of the and use the ampersand symbol, and probably a return and a delete to get rid of the numbers, and a tab and a return and a tab. Oops, a return and a tab. And I believe I also did this. And now we should be able to shrink these notes and then move them into this space. And there's even enough space if we want to add a few other lines underneath it. And then we go ahead and save, and we now have a 8.5 by 11 sheet that will print very nicely, true to what we're seeing on the page for, in my case, high school students. And there is enough room to here to lay out fairly simple parts and do your multi-view drawings on it. Anything that's complicated that we're going to need more than the 3 standard views in an isometric front, top, and right. If we're going to have to do, section views or detail views or do the back or the bottom, then we always just use the 17 by 11 sheet. But if we're doing simple parts like learning how to do dimensionings, I tend to have them stick to this 8.5 by 11 sheet. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something, and I'll catch you in the next one.